Every human being carries an inner storm, even if outwardly they appear calm. This storm consists of thoughts, doubts, fears, and unfinished reflections that never leave the mind. You might be surrounded by people, smiling, working, and appearing to live a normal life, yet internally feel like everything is barely holding together. This is not a sign of weakness. It's a natural part of being human. Awareness is the first step to mastering your mind. Begin by noticing when negative thoughts arise. Observe them without judgment. Stop labeling yourself for having them. Many thoughts are echoes of the past, fears about the future, or reactions to events beyond your control. Just because a thought appears in your mind doesn't make it true. By recognizing this, you create a space between yourself and your thoughts, a space where choice exists. This awareness allows you to see that thoughts are temporary. They are passing clouds in the sky of your consciousness. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer. When you recognize this, you stop being pulled around by every fear, doubt, or worry. You begin to see opportunities to respond intentionally instead of reacting automatically. Understanding the storm within also means accepting it. Don't resist what arises. Don't suppress or ignore it, but observe it patiently. Each time you notice a negative thought without immediately reacting, you gain mental strength. Over time, this practice reduces the noise inside your mind, bringing clarity and calm. The more often you recognize the storm, the more control you gain. Mental freedom begins with awareness. In short, recognizing the mental storm within is about observing, not judging, noticing, not reacting, and understanding that your thoughts do not define you. This is the foundation of clarity, focus, and inner resilience. Once you've recognized the storm within, the next step is detachment. Detachment doesn't mean ignoring your thoughts or pretending they don't exist. It means stepping back and observing them without judgment. Imagine your mind as a sky and your thoughts as clouds passing through it. Some clouds are dark and heavy, others light and fleeting. You don't need to chase them or push them away. You simply notice them. Most people mistake thoughts for reality. A doubt appears, and immediately they believe it, react to it, or let it dictate their mood. But detachment allows you to see thoughts for what they are. Temporary mental events, not truths. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer who notices them. This subtle shift creates freedom. Observation without attachment also allows you to see patterns. Certain thoughts arise repeatedly: fear of failure, anxiety about the future, self-criticism. When you watch these patterns unfold, you stop reacting automatically. You gain insight into triggers and habitual responses. Awareness transforms the mind from a battlefield into a garden. The weeds of repetitive negativity become visible, and you can decide which to cultivate and which to ignore. Detachment strengthens focus. When your attention is not hijacked by every passing idea, you can direct energy toward what truly matters. You learn to pause before responding, to choose your actions intentionally, and to avoid the chaos of reactive living. It builds resilience, because the storms that once tossed you around now pass while you remain steady. This practice takes patience. At first, detachment may feel unnatural. The mind resists stillness. But with consistency, you learn to sit with thoughts, acknowledge them, and let them pass without judgment. In this space, clarity arises. You begin to experience mental freedom, a calm center amidst the noise. In short, detachment is not disconnection. It's mindful observation. It's the act of seeing your thoughts clearly without becoming them. And it is the gateway to focus, peace, and conscious living. One of the most powerful tools for mental clarity is understanding the difference between what you can control and what you cannot. Most of the stress, anxiety, and mental clutter we experience comes from trying to manage things beyond our influence. Other people's opinions, outcomes, or past events. The Stoics taught that energy spent on the uncontrollable is wasted, while attention directed toward what you can influence leads to clarity and inner strength. Begin by identifying what is truly within your control: your thoughts, your actions, your attitude, and your decisions. You cannot control the weather, the mistakes of others, or how the world unfolds, but you can control your response. By consistently returning your focus to what you can shape, you reduce mental noise and create space for meaningful action. This approach also helps you detach from unnecessary worry. When a challenge arises, instead of spiraling into what-if scenarios, ask yourself, what can I do right now that matters? Direct your energy toward those actions. This small but deliberate focus shifts your mind from chaos to purpose. Focusing on control strengthens your resilience. Life will always present uncertainty, but a mind trained to act on what matters does not crumble under pressure. You start to see that most fears and anxieties are projections of imagined consequences, not reality. You regain the freedom to choose your actions intentionally rather than react emotionally. Daily practice is key. Start with simple routines, prioritize tasks, make decisions consciously, and accept what you cannot change. Over time, this focus becomes habit. Your mind naturally filters distractions and settles on productive paths. In short, clarity and focus are cultivated by directing attention to your sphere of influence. Let go of what you cannot control, take responsibility for what you can, and let your energy flow where it is effective. This principle is the cornerstone of inner calm and purposeful living. Amid the storm of thoughts and mental clutter, the breath is the most immediate tool to regain clarity. Breathing is not just a biological function, it's a bridge between the mind and body. When anxiety, stress, or overwhelming thoughts arise, the breath often becomes shallow and erratic, reflecting the chaos inside. By consciously regulating your breathing, you signal to your mind and nervous system that it's safe to slow down, to pause, and to regain control. Start with simple awareness. Notice your inhale and exhale. Don't force it. Simply observe, then gradually deepen your breath, allowing it to fill the lungs fully and release completely. A pattern like 4-count inhale, 4-count hold, 6-count exhale is effective for calming the nervous system. Each conscious breath interrupts automatic mental reactions, creating space between stimulus and response, the space where clarity is born. Breathing also reconnects you with the present moment. Most mental storms arise from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. The breath anchors you to now, reminding you that this moment is the only one you can influence. By returning to your breath regularly, you train your mind to disengage from the constant mental chatter and focus on what matters. This practice can be applied anytime during work, before responding to a stressful message, or even in moments of conflict. Each breath acts like a reset button, giving your mind a chance to pause, recalibrate, and choose a deliberate response rather than a reactive one. Over time, conscious breathing strengthens your emotional resilience, improves focus, and cultivates inner calm, even amidst chaos. In short, the breath is a powerful, accessible tool to reset your mind. Observe it, deepen it, and let it anchor you. With each intentional breath, you create a pause, a space to detach from unnecessary mental noise and regain control. Clarity grows when you learn to breathe through the storm. A crucial part of mental clarity is learning to accept what lies beyond your control. Life constantly presents situations that we cannot alter, other people's actions, unexpected events, or outcomes of past decisions. Resistance to these realities only fuels frustration, anxiety, and mental clutter. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity. It means acknowledging reality, honestly, and redirecting energy toward what you can influence. Start by identifying the facts of the situation. Ask yourself, is this within my control? Can I change it? If the answer is no, stop arguing with reality. Stop spending energy on what should have been or if only scenarios. Acceptance is the first step to liberation. It allows you to conserve mental resources for action rather than conflict with circumstances. This practice also changes your emotional response. When you stop resisting what cannot be changed, tension decreases. The mind is no longer trapped in a cycle of blame, regret, or frustration. Instead, you cultivate calmness and focus, and your energy can be invested in constructive choices. Stoics believed that it is not events themselves but our judgment of them that disturbs us. By accepting the uncontrollable, you regain control over your own reactions. Acceptance is also an act of self-compassion. When you release the illusion that you can manage everything, you stop punishing yourself for outcomes beyond your reach. You begin to respond to life from a place of clarity rather than fear. Over time, this practice builds resilience. You will become less reactive to external circumstances and more grounded in your own principles and values. In short, mental clarity emerges when you distinguish between what you can and cannot change. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means choosing wisely where to invest your energy. Let go of the uncontrollable, embrace reality, and direct your focus toward action, growth, and inner peace. Holding on to the past is one of the heaviest burdens on the mind. regrets, mistakes, and unresolved experiences replay constantly, creating noise and distraction. Yet the past cannot be changed. The Stoics remind us that dwelling on what has already happened only steals energy from the present moment, the only moment in which we can act and grow. Mental clarity begins when you consciously release attachment to what no longer serves you. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or pretending the past didn't happen. It means acknowledging the events, learning the lessons, and then freeing yourself from their emotional grip. Ask yourself, does holding on to this memory improve my present, or does it keep me trapped? Recognizing the difference allows you to redirect your energy toward what truly matters now. Practically, letting go can take many forms. Journaling helps by externalizing thoughts that repeat endlessly in the mind. Reflection allows you to analyze lessons without getting lost in emotion. Even small rituals, like taking a walk or meditating on forgiveness, can signal to your mind that it's safe to release lingering tension. Over time, these practices reduce the power of past events over your current decisions and mood. Letting go also creates space for focus. When the mind isn't cluttered with old regrets or what-ifs, you can direct attention fully to meaningful tasks, relationships, and personal growth. The weight of the past no longer anchors your energy. Instead, your awareness and presence expand, and clarity naturally emerges. In short, the past is a teacher, not a prison. Acknowledge its lessons, release its chains, and reclaim the present. True mental freedom and the ability to focus arises when you let go of what has already passed, making room for what is possible today. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in each moment, observing your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. It is a cornerstone of mental clarity because it allows you to step back from the constant chatter of the mind and witness your inner world objectively. When practiced consistently, mindfulness trains the mind to notice distractions before they pull you into overwhelm, helping you stay grounded and focused. Start small. Dedicate a few minutes each day to observe your breath, bodily sensations, or the sounds around you. When a thought arises, whether it's a worry, regret, or anticipation, simply notice it without attaching a story or judgment. Think of yourself as a calm observer of your mind, rather than a prisoner to it. This simple shift in perspective creates mental space, where clarity and calm can emerge. Mindfulness also strengthens your emotional resilience. By observing thoughts and emotions without immediate reaction, you reduce the likelihood of impulsive responses or negative spirals. Over time, you recognize patterns in your thinking, which thoughts are recurring, which are constructive, and which are merely noise. This awareness allows you to consciously choose where to invest your attention, rather than being swept away by automatic reactions. Daily mindfulness can be applied beyond formal practice. While walking, eating, working, or talking to someone, bring your attention fully to the present moment. Notice the sensations, the actions, and the context. This ongoing practice trains the mind to focus naturally, reduces stress, and enhances mental clarity. In short, mindfulness is the art of observing without attachment. Daily practice builds the mental muscle to notice thoughts without being consumed by them, to respond with intention instead of habit, and to create space for focus, calm, and purposeful action. The more you practice, the more clarity becomes your default state, rather than a temporary escape.
Remember, you are not your thoughts. Observe them, release them, and reclaim your focus. True strength comes from the space you create between what happens and how you respond.